Вот так это. Ну, блин, значит, нет, ну нам так это есть на самом деле. Ну, да, я буду. Где чай-то, я сварил уже, нет. Нет, так это легко, я могу тебе накидать сколько хочешь. What I want to say. Я сейчас я могу сидеть вот и болтать. Я себя просто не видел. Судя по тому, как мое время, да, как мое время. Очень интересно, да никак оно не проходит время. Деньги за что ты, блин, за что мне деньги не дают так просто? Ну да, да. Раньше, наоборот, это нет, понимаете, наоборот, это нет. Они прекрасно это знают, все это. Мы здесь! Хе-хей! Че, я мудак сюда вперед, блин? А, ты хочешь это посмотреть? Маме надо отправить, наверное, так это что такое-то, он о себе так думает. Ну да, мама ты наверное, идет, наверное, надо будет, не надо ну да, да. Что-то опять шаблон появился какой-то. Да, да.
Да ты чё?
Music today. Not only that, it's the best time ever to make it happen. Why? Because the music industry of today has changed, and we're now in the era of the independent artist. And I get excited talking about this stuff because so many people haven't realized this yet. They're still operating like the record labels have all the power, but they don't. And over the next 16 minutes, I'm going to turn your whole world upside down. By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear roadmap to making a full-time living from music, getting paid to do what you love every single day, and eventually quitting your day job. How? By doing the opposite of what most people do and becoming a hybrid musician. But we'll get back to that. I know that's a big promise to make, but you're not the first person I've made that promise to. We've helped over 1,000 artists, musicians, engineers, producers transition to a career in music. Like Johnny Marksman, who just started making a steady income from music using the strategies I'm about to share with you in this video, and who's currently in the process of quitting his day job as a data analyst. Or John Power, who got paid $10,000 for a single project in his first few weeks in the industry. People just like you are finally achieving their dream of having a fulfilling career in music. Yet mere months ago, they were just sitting there watching a video just like this one, thinking it was impossible to actually get paid to do what they love every single day. But they took that leap, and now their lives look totally different. Now they're making a living working on music from the comfort of their own home studios. But here's the truth. They worked their asses off to get there, and they had the right guidance along the way. And unfortunately, most people are in the exact opposite situation. Most people watching this video right now will have a day job they can't stand, a soul-sucking job they wish they could just walk away from. But the sad reality is that it's really hard to get paid to do what you love. So think about it. It's really easy to get paid. Just go out, get any old job. And it's really easy to do what you love in your spare time as a hobby. But to combine those two things, to get paid to do what you love, it's really hard. And that's why most people give up on their dream of working in music, because they don't think it's possible. So they go get a real job they hate, and every day they go to that job, but they wish they were at home, working on music instead. And the reason I'm so passionate about what we do here is that I know what that's like. My name is Jake Codeweiss, and before I started working full-time in music, I had jobs in retail, food service, construction, even a desk job in the public sector. So I know what it feels like to dread going to work every day, wishing you could stay home and work on music instead. It's really hard to escape that life, but we're on a mission to make it way easier. So I'll get to the point. How is this even possible? Let's start by looking at where you are right now, which, for the sake of this video, I'm going to assume is at absolute zero. And then we have to look at where you want to be, which is having a successful career in music. Now, that could be full-time or part-time, but let's take this out to the extreme and focus on having a lucrative full-time career in music, earning 6 figures or more. Now, here's the traditional path to making that happen. And in a second, I'm going to show you why this doesn't work anymore. So phase one is pro quality. First, you need to be able to make professional quality music at home. Music that holds up to the standards of quality set by the labels. You can't do anything in this day and age without that ability. You have to be able to produce radio quality music. Phase two is audience. If you're producing music, but nobody is listening to it, what's the point? So the next step is growing an audience. Phase three is income. Once you have a sizable audience as a recording artist, you can start making an income, right? You make money from streams, from merch, from gigs, all of that. And then finally, phase four is scale. Now, this is where the real money is, but only if you want it. And this is where you start building a major brand and business around yourself. So this roadmap right here is the dated, antiquated, old way of having a career in music. This is how things looked back in the 90s. And the problem is that it takes years to build a large enough fan base to make anything close to a full-time salary. Yet most people still approach the music industry this way. And it makes absolutely no sense to me. So let me show you what actually works today. All of our best students, all the people you met earlier, approached it this new way instead. And basically, you just reverse the whole process. Now, phase one is still pro quality. There's no way to avoid that. But with the right guidance, you can really speed up this process and be making radio-ready music at home in less than a year. Even if you have zero experience right now, then this is where we flip it on its head. Instead of growing a fan base first and living for years as a starving artist, which just isn't an option for most people, what if you made an income first? So that becomes phase two. And the way you do that is by offering services to other artists, or even businesses and brands as a writer, a producer, or an engineer. And you start making an income from that right away. It doesn't take years, it literally just takes a week or two if you do it right. For example, Bastian Borsett landed 3 clients in less than a week because he approached this the right way. Or Ali, who landed his first 7 clients in 10 days. So once you're making a predictable income and you quit your day job, that's when you start building an audience for your own music. And that's phase 3. Because if you're like me, and pretty much everyone else, your dream is still to be a recording artist and have your own music out there too, rather than just working on other people's music. So the whole process is reversed. And this is what works really well in today's music industry, but it doesn't stop there. Because once you've got all those streams of income, you're making money as a producer, you're making money from your fan base, your music's getting synced to films and TV shows, well, then you can start building a business around all of this. And that's phase 4. You can hire other engineers, writers, and producers to actually do the work for you. And that's how you turn this into an income stream that generates you 6 figures a year. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's beyond the scope of this video. Today, we're just going to focus on those first 3 phases. Now, to make all of this happen, to go from absolute zero to having a career in music, getting paid to make your own music and make music for other people, you're going to have to actually change as a person. I know that sounds super intense, but just trust me, it's all going to make sense in just a minute. This is what I want to cover now. The 6 transformations you need to go through if you truly want this. Those are 1, hobbyist to professional, 2, artist to hybrid musician, 3, employee to entrepreneur, 4, chaos to systems, 5, freelancer to maverick, and 6, unknown to adored. Let's start with 1. Hobbyist to professional. The first problem you're going to face as you embark on this journey is that your music doesn't sound professional yet. And the problem here is you can't share your music or get paid until your mixes sound pro. But your mixes don't sound professional yet. You have no roadmap for reaching professional quality. Your mixes don't sound professional, but you don't know why. You're trying to do 1,000 things at once, and this leads to overwhelm, and you can't find the time to improve your mixes. Now, once you add all these things together, it's obvious why most people are totally lacking confidence and self-belief, and why most people doubt they'll ever be good enough to get paid to do what they love. So, why does all of this happen? It's because you're still thinking about this like a hobbyist. And instead of thinking like a hobbyist, you need to start thinking like a professional. So, here's how you make that happen. First, ignore tips and tricks. Ultimately, this is why you feel overwhelmed, because there's an infinite number of tips and tricks people can make up. Everyone is giving you tips and tricks. And I'm guilty of this too, because a lot of people on YouTube are just hobbyists. And for that person, it's great entertainment. But that's all it is, it's entertainment. And if you want to be a pro, you need to ignore all that. Next, you have to get really good at the basics. You might not want to hear this, but it's the boring stuff that matters. It's not sexy, it's not fun, and this video probably won't do as well because of this, but I want to be candid with you. I want to give you the truth. You need to get really good at the boring stuff. And by the boring stuff, I mean things like ear training, and mic placement, and room acoustics, or the basics of mixing, volume balancing, EQ, compression. When it comes to this stuff, less is more. So, in short, get really good at the basics. Again, it's really boring, it's not sexy, but I don't care about that. I just want you to actually get results. So next, you need to get good at more than mixing. You gotta stop focusing on just mixing. You need to get really good at the recording and producing process first. The problem is that the majority of content on YouTube is about mixing, because that's all people want. So You just gotta ignore all that. So the next transformation is artist to hybrid musician. The problem here is making an income from your original music requires a large audience. Building a large audience takes years of work and a lot of luck. And you can't quit your day job if you're only making $23 a month from streaming. Just look at the math. If you're earning 0.006 cents per stream on Spotify, you make a grand total of $6 per month for every 1,000 plays. So it's incredibly hard to make enough money to replace your main source of income. So what's the solution? Start generating an income right now by offering services to other artists or small businesses. Stop thinking of yourself as just an artist. Start thinking of yourself as a hybrid musician, somebody who's an artist but also capable of freelancing as a producer, a writer, or an engineer. Work with people remotely over the internet from the comfort of your own home studio. Make enough money as a freelancer to quit your day job. Continue to build an audience for your own music, but do it while earning money from music as a freelancer. Of course, this idea is nothing new. Dr. Dre, Pharrell, Calvin Harris, Timbaland, Steve Albini, Nile Rodgers, Kanye West, these heavyweights are great artists and great producers. What is new is that this opportunity to be a hybrid musician is now open to anyone. Thanks to the internet and shifts in the industry the internet has created, you don't have to work with major label artists anymore. Instead, you can approach independent artists or small
Люди
businesses.
все время говорят, детский им вырастание уже наоборот. Вот их надо про себя так говорить. Да наоборот, он про себя так думает тоже. Наоборот, нет, все мудрые, я только один такой. Они про деньги говорят. То есть, когда ты слышишь это слово, это значит просто деньги. Да, понимаешь. Там, где деньги, там жизнь, понимаешь? Да. А где, да, и наоборот, взаимообратно, да, понимаешь? Да. И это нормально. Ну тогда ладно, да, не живи, ну ладно, понимаешь, да. Да, потому что для меня это тоже только слова. Вот такие вот все слова, да, понимаешь. Да, понимаешь. Да, представь себе, что у тебя, ну, например, я просто тебе говорю, настолько все нелепо, да, интересно, да. Есть потребности людей, и они не будут платить один лишний нуль в цене. Ты пришел в магазин. Не, ну ты представь себе, что есть магазин такой же, где одного нуля в цене нету. Вот ты ходишь в какой-то магазин, любой, ну я уже так понял тебя. Я не имею в виду, что ухудшение качества. Скажем такой, ну, снижение, ну чуть-чуть снижение качества, среднячок, например, да. Как бы не все туда пойдут, да, ну, например, но если есть такой продукт, из которого ты нуль убрал, то есть появится, да, он тебя понимает просто, это запросто, я тебе просто объясняю, что да. Да, и оно везде так, понимаешь? Вот это самое смешное, я тебе говорю, вот планшет для музыкантов. Музыканты как лохи сидят и пилят тут одно и то же там. Вот они ноты эти издают, ну знаешь, сколько стоит одна папка для детей вот это вот? Вот такая вот, да? Не знаешь, да? Это сейчас она стоит, наверное, 1500 дрофа там, да. Я не к тому, что они плохие или они хорошие, я не знаю, я тебе просто факт говорю. Она по сути, ты вот посмотри, ну да, то есть как бы в принципе ничего, я понимаю, что здесь труд заложен, бла-бла-бла. Давай, короче, все это издательскую закрывай, оставляй только то есть, сам контекст, да, и деревья не портят там. Ну, пример я просто говорю, даже дело не в этом, я тебе просто говорю. Все, остальное не да. Оставь только сам текст. И, ну, это самое, сколько это будет стоить? Ну да, понимает он тебя, да. Ну, как бы, вот они делают, перед тем, как печатать, у них какие-то PDF-ки там, или мега-PDF какой-то для издательства, да, есть, типа того. Ну, он тебя понял просто, да. Ну, я просто тебе объясняю, что, да. Что, по сути, ты можешь взять, как бы, ну, с айфонами так не работает, да, что там 1.0 из цены, ты не пробовала, что ли, так сделать? Я понял просто, что да. Когда-то да нелепо будет, точно так же, как раньше, да, когда-то было электричество невозможно, а потом советский сантехник это делает, как бы, не глядя, как бы, да, понимаешь. Да, когда-то про радио, ну, это не суть разговора. Я просто тебе объясняю, что, да, почему бы тебе не брать 2 нуля из этого планшета, из цены его, да, понимаешь. Ну, там, например, ну, что тебе вот близко, да? Это тоже вот нелепость, нонсенс, да? Планшет для того, чтобы вот книги, читалки, да, туда, сколько это он стоит, да? Сколько ты литературы покупаешь, вот, да, вот, в год, да, то есть, да, он тебя про себя и говорит, то есть, то есть ты, и оно не работает так, он про это я тебе говорил, да, что люди покупают все равно бумагу, там, эти письменные принадлежности. Хорошо, почему оно так не работает, почему люди, да, то есть, да, я понял тоже, да, значит, да, здесь есть парша, да, понимаешь, часть привычки, понимаешь, да, то есть, да, ну не, здесь не закон просто, ну да, ну тебе это все было надо, как бы, да, то есть тебе все равно штучный материал, ты взял одни ноты и прочитал, и тебе все равно там, ты 500 рублей заплатил или 5 рублей, какая нахер разница, если ты больше одних нот не прочитаешь, да, ну да, скажем, немножко не так, да, то есть, то есть, а если у тебя, да, ну, типа того, да, то есть, ну, типа того, прошу, ну, конечно, ладно, ты меня убедил. Так оно не работает. Хорошо, давай рынок жилья. Вот сейчас квартира стоит 3 миллиона рублей. Давай за 300 тысяч сделаем квартиру. Вот точно такую же. Примерно в этом же районе. Ну, например, я тебе просто вообще, да, ну, то есть такого же качества, скажем так. Может, да, как бы. То есть оно все равно, ты хочешь сказать, что так не работает, что ли, да? Кто проверял-то, да, понимает. Кто пробовал, да, я понял.
This is directly. So the next transformation is employee to entrepreneur. The problem here is you have a day job that distracts you from music. If you're like most people, you probably hate it, or you're at
Ну,
least
наверное,
happy.
просто люди, потому что они не думают, что это так, они, может, подвох какой-то или что-то там, да. Наверное, да, я понял просто. Ну, вот это и есть он самый, да. Да, ну, я понял просто, да. Ну, да. Типа того, да. А, типа того, ну, вот это он имеет в виду. Да прилавка здесь, да, ну, тебя, блин, ты что, смеешься, что ли, да. Нет, а ты что, ты хочешь, как бы, да заткнись уже, блин. Вот я тебе говорю, раньше, да, ты просто о себе так говорит уже давно, да. Ну да, так и надо делать, потому что, значит, да, чтобы люди нормально жили, легче, да, говорит, да. Да, ну, нормально, кажется, да. Меня не касается это.
Passionate about it, and you don't know anything about business or marketing. So here's the solution. Start thinking like an entrepreneur. Reality is, if you want to
Не,
make
вот
a
мне, тебе как потребителю не интересно, что ли, это? Ну не может быть такого, я понял просто уже, да.
living, doing what you love, on your own terms, you need to think like an entrepreneur. You have to learn to be your own boss and take your destiny into your own hands, because nobody is going to hand this to you. You have to go out there and make it happen. So next, you need to stop treating this like a hobby and start treating it more like a business. You can be the best writer or producer or engineer in the world, but if you don't know anything about business or marketing, you're going to fail. And you need to have a clear plan for how you're going to make money and quit your day job. And we'll come back to this in just a few minutes. Justin Mayo was an accountant when he came to us for help. At first, the only income he had from music was from streaming. But we taught Justin to think more like an entrepreneur. And weeks later, he was generating several income streams as an artist, a producer, and a sound engineer. But it doesn't stop there. Now, Justin has a roster of artists that he produces for. But he also manages them and does their marketing. In essence, Justin now has his own label.
There was a time when I was like, well, the only way I could make money as a musician is, you know, streams and stuff. And now I realize, no, like, you can do this stuff for other clients. And not only, like, can I do, you know, the sound engineering, but also, you know, lead them as a producer and do their marketing and everything.
And on top of all that, Justin landed a job as the lead engineer at a recording studio, which is yet another stream of income. Awesome work, man. That's what it means to be an entrepreneur. The next transformation is chaos to systems. Problem here is you've got no idea where to start when it comes to getting clients. You're not sure how to stand out from the noise and differentiate yourself in a crowded market. You're not sure where the money actually is. Maybe you're not in a good location for music, like LA or New York. You don't have a good network, no roadmap for scaling up to a full-time income, not enough confidence in your own skills to go out and get paying clients. So what's the solution? You need a predictable process for bringing in clients. Get paid ASAP. Then you're going to start to believe in yourself. Earn enough to quit your day job so you can focus on music full time. Then you get to wake up and do what you love every single day. And as an added perk, you get the freedom of being your own boss. When Justin Reyna came to us for help, he was a great writer, but he had no idea how to get clients. We gave him a simple system for generating clients with predictability, and in the 30 days that
наоборот, да наоборот.
Followed, he made over $2,760 from new clients. So then we have freelancer to maverick. Now this transition has to happen once you're making a steady income from freelancing as a writer, producer, or engineer. And once you get to that point, you face a whole new set of problems. All your money comes from services and trading time for money, which is a good problem to have, but still a problem. Your own music isn't making any money for you yet, and you don't feel confident enough in your own music since you haven't started making an income from it. So what's the solution? You need assets that pay you while you sleep. How? With sync licensing. In other words, getting your music featured on TV shows, films, commercials, and other video content. Now, you're getting paid to build your fan base too, because the people who pay you to license your music are also basically marketing your music for you. It's a huge win-win. You'll earn money while you sleep, you get validation that your music is awesome, and honestly, this just feels great. Up until this point, you will doubt yourself a ton, so this actually needs to happen ASAP.
So yeah, we've just been writing a lot of music. We're still currently writing music for the library, and we've just been sending as much of it as we can to them. We've got a very, very, very good acceptance rate as far as, you know, how much we send, what they take out of it.
When Adam Hintz came to us, he was producing pop and hip-hop beats, but he didn't know how to get paid for them in a substantial way. So we walked him through the system for getting placements in film, TV, and video games, and in a matter of weeks, he got signed by his first music library. Now, the final transformation you need to make is from unknown to adored. So at this point, you're getting paid to write or produce music for other people, and your own music is also making you an income from sync and licensing. You're like Pharrell before NERD. You're getting paid to do what you love, working with other people, and that's incredible.
Ладно.
But you don't have a sizable audience for your own music yet. So now you can enter the next phase, which is growing a fan base for your own music. And the problem here is you've got no idea where to start, not sure which technique.
Допустим, вот эти его в голове подходят. Я еле поднялся, точнее, потом видели, что я в этот в аптеку. И, короче, это было. А раз попробуйте себя на рынке гитары. Я звонил ему, что-то там, я нормально бухаю.
Мгм.